Ever wondered why you feel lucky when you find a penny? Well, ancient folks thought of copper as a divine gift, protecting humanity. So pennies were basically early versions of lucky charms. You see, back in the day, our ancestors were a superstitious bunch. They believed that metals, especially copper, were delivered express from the gods themselves. A kind of celestial Amazon Prime, if you will. Now, these weren't just shiny trinkets. No. These were divine shields safeguarding humans from the eternal tug-of-war between good and evil. So if you had a copper coin, you were basically carrying the ancient version of a superhero's shield. It's like having your personal Thor's hammer, but in your pocket, and a lot less destructive. Fast forward a few millennia, and we still can't shake off these beliefs. Found a penny on the ground, pick it up, because fortune favors the copper carrying. So, the next time you find a penny, remember you're carrying an ancient good luck charm. The Mayans weren't just good at calendars and writing, they were also sports fanatics. Ever tried playing basketball and soccer at the same time? The Mayans did. Imagine dribbling a rubber ball, not with your hands, but with your hips. Yes, you heard it right. The Mayans had some serious hip action going on. Now imagine trying to pass that same ball through a stone hoop. Sounds like an ancient version of a workout routine, doesn't it? This was no ordinary game, folks. The Mayans weren't just messing around with the ball. This game was a matter of life and death, quite literally. Losing could mean a trip to the afterlife. Talk about high stakes. Now picture this. You're a Mayan athlete. You've been training for months, maybe years. The big day comes, the crowd is roaring, the king is watching, and you need to get that blasted rubber ball through a stone hoop using nothing but your hips. No pressure, right? But let's not forget the ball itself. This wasn't some lightweight, bouncy beach ball. This was a solid, heavy rubber ball that could leave you with more than just a bruise. So next time you're grumbling about how hard your gym routine is, or how your coach is making you do extra laps, just remember, the Mayans had it way harder. They had to play soccer and basketball combined, with their hips and their lives on the line. So the next time you complain about your soccer practice, remember the Mayans had it way harder. The Aztecs had strict laws, especially against public drunkenness, but if you were over 70, you could drink all you wanted. Retirement goals, anyone? Oh, the Aztecs. Known for their intricate societal structure, advanced architecture, and a no-nonsense attitude towards law and order. But did you know, they also knew how to kick back and relax? Well, only if you were over 70, of course. Picture this. You've spent your life building grand temples, observing the stars, making sacrifices to the gods, and finally you hit the big 7-0. What's your reward? A free pass to the local tavern. No questions asked. Not too shabby, right? Now imagine a typical Aztec happy hour. It's a lively scene where the elders let loose, downing pulque, a traditional fermented drink, like there's no tomorrow. They're singing, dancing, and sharing stories of their glory days while the younger folks look on in envy. You can almost hear the grizzled old warriors boasting about their exploits. Remember the time I wrestled that jaguar in the jungle? Or who could forget when I climbed the Sun Pyramid in record time? The laughter echoes throughout the night, a testament to a lifetime of hard work and dedication. But remember, if you're under 70 and caught with a bit too much pulque in your system, it's a whole different story. The Aztecs were no nonsense when it came to enforcing their laws, with punishments as severe as death. And you thought your grandparents knew how to party. Who needs a written language when you can tie knots? The Incas sure didn't. Now, the Incas were a pretty sophisticated bunch. They built architectural wonders like Machu Picchu, had an organized society, but when it came to written language, they sort of knotted it up, literally. Instead of penning down their thoughts, they tied them up in strings. These were not just any old knots, mind you. This was a complex system known as quipu, a language of knots, if you will. Imagine going to school, and instead of learning the alphabet, you're learning different types of knots. Today's homework? Class, tie a double Windsor to represent your feelings about last night's llama stew. And what about love letters, you ask? Picture this. A young Inca lad, desperately in love, spends hours painstakingly knotting a piece of string. He hands it over to his beloved. She holds it up, squints at it and says, "I think you've got your feelings tangled up here. I can't make head or tail of it." And let's not even get started on the epic novels. Imagine War and Peace in knots. That would be one tangled tale. So the next time you're struggling to find the right emoji to express your feelings, spare a thought for the Incas. They had to knot their feelings into strings, and if you ever find yourself lost in translation, just remember, you could be untangling knots instead. Ever had a midnight chocolate craving? You can thank the Olmecs for that. Ah, the Olmecs, those ancient chaps from the Gulf Coast of Mexico. They were quite the overachievers. Not only did they construct the first stone pyramids in North America and carve out those eerily adorable stone baby-faced head monuments, but they also domesticated the cacao tree. Yes, you heard it right, folks. These ingenious people were the first to tame the wild cacao and turn it into the sweet, sweet nectar of the gods we now call chocolate. The next time you're savouring a hot cocoa on a cold day, remember it's not just a warm beverage, it's a warm beverage with a history that dates back to the dawn of civilization. And let's not forget those chocolate chip cookies, chocolate cakes, and of course, the classic chocolate bars. So, the next time you bite into a chocolate bar, remember to say a little thank you to the Olmecs. From great cities to the wild forest, one ancient South American tribe really knew how to change their lifestyle. Imagine constructing magnificent amphitheatres one day, then poof, you're living Tarzan style in the jungle. Hey, anyone remember how to build a house? Nope, but I've got this leaf hat. And thus, our cocaine-inventing tribe transitioned from architectural marvels to, well, leaf hut wonders. So if you ever feel like you're having a bad day, just remember, at least you didn't forget how to build a house.